All right, welcome back everyone. My name is Pritesh here with Kaizen Crypto, bringing you another video. So here today, we're going to be taking a look at the Cardano Millionaire strategy. These are going to be some of my thoughts regarding cryptocurrencies and Cardano going forward into the next cycle. So if you are interested in that type of content, be sure to stay tuned. All right, everyone, thank you so much for joining me here today. I hope you guys are all doing well. So to get things started with this video here, as we can see, the Cardano Millionaire strategy, these are going to be some of my key points that I'm looking for going into the next cycle. I wanted to share with you all some of my thought process regarding how I'm looking at investing in cryptocurrencies for the medium to long term. So before I get things started, I just want to preface this video by saying that none of the topics that we discuss here in this video should be considered as financial advice. If you do need financial advice, please be sure to seek someone out who is expertly qualified to do so. This video is simply for entertainment purposes only. So now that we've got that out of the way, what I wanted to start with was what we're going to be talking about here in this video. So some key points of discussion. First and foremost is going to be mind over matter. I wanted to talk about some of the thought processes behind investing in cryptocurrencies, talking about emotions, psychology. That is going to be the first point of discussion for us here in this video today. The second point is going to be what type of investor are you? So everybody is different and we all have our own financial backgrounds. We're all coming from different walks of life. So it's a matter of catering investing towards your individual personality and what's going to work best for your financial situation. Next thing is, what do you do when your bags pump? So we all know cryptocurrencies are notorious for massive upswings and massive moves to the downside. Either way, what do you do when something like that happens? So we're going to be taking a look at that. And then going forward, investing strategies. So we've got several listed here. The first one we're going to be talking about is buy and hold. One of the most tried and true investment strategies is simply buying and holding for a long period of time, comparing that to something like trading into Bitcoin. So many people are wondering, what is the best type of strategy for trading these altcoins? Taking a look at that here as well and what I'm doing personally. And then lastly, we're going to be taking a look at potential exit strategies. So let's go ahead and dive into it. First point of discussion here, we're going to be talking about getting your mind right. A lot of investing has to do with psychology and being able to understand yourself and how you react to your own emotions is going to be paramount when it comes to doing this successfully. Cryptocurrency is still an emerging market. It's still a very new space. So with that being said, the price potential for the upside and the downside is exponentially greater. So now, best thing that you can do is realize what type of market that you're dealing with. Here in crypto, we know it's a very volatile market. You need to prepare yourself mentally for moves to the upside or the downside. And you need to be sure that you're working with an amount of capital that you don't have any problem losing. If you're up at night, if you're constantly looking at your blockfolio, if you're overthinking the amount of money that you have invested in cryptocurrency, you're probably overexposed to the market. And that's just a general rule of thumb. Never invest any more than you can afford to lose. Next is going to be have your goals written down. So by having a visualized idea of what it is that you're trying to achieve, you're going to be able to see that every day in front of you. I know me personally, what I like to do is write my goals down for the month, for the year, for the next 10 years, what have you. And I like to put it up in my room or my office and just have it where I'm able to look at it every day, constantly reminding myself of my target, where I'm trying to go. Have your goals written down. That's an important step. Next thing to look at is, why are you investing? Know your reason for doing something before you do it. I think that's a great way to be able to put in perspective everything that you do, because you'll not only have your goals written down, but you'll be able to see exactly why it is you're trying to achieve that. So now a good way of doing this is to determine the amount of money that you need. So have a set number in your mind, visualize that and contemplate it and figure out why it is that you need that amount. Next, of course, is going to be understanding your emotions. What I've personally done is I've looked at different books and I've looked at different courses on how you can understand your psychology better. I think understanding your own mind is going to be key to investing in this space. Many of you guys who do watch YouTube videos related to cryptocurrency, I'm sure you may have heard of Bob Lucas. Bob Lucas is an incredible voice of reason in the space. There are many people in the space as well who do talk a lot about psychology when it comes to investing. I recommend you look at those types of people, whether it's in cryptocurrencies or traditional finance. Some of the people that I find most notable are going to be people like Chamath Palihapitiya. There is also other venture capitalists. Some of them include Anthony Pompliano. There's others such as Tony Robbins, as well as Robert Kiyosaki with Rich Dad, Poor Dad. So by finding these mentors and by understanding their psychology when it comes to investing, I think you'll definitely have a leg up when it comes to putting money into the markets. And next is going to be to join a community and hold yourself accountable. That's one of the best ways that you can be on track to attaining your goals, is to have other people help you along your journey. Of course, doing anything by yourself is a little bit more difficult, especially if you're going into uncharted territory. So by having other people that you can relate with and talk to and share ideas with, you're going to be able to hold yourself accountable to whatever goals that you set for yourself. So next point I want to talk about is determining what type of investor are you. So many people are invested in cryptocurrencies and they're coming from all walks of life. In this market, we don't have to worry about having an accreditation. You don't have to worry about going through a brokerage. You don't have to do any of that. You are able to invest into Bitcoin, cryptocurrencies, and in this case, Cardano. It doesn't matter what your age is, doesn't matter your background. People from anywhere in the world are allowed to participate. So with that being said, when it comes to setting these goals, you need to determine what type of parameters you're going to set for yourself. In this case, there are many questions that I like to ask, including how old are you, or how much risk can you take on? And then as far as the amount of capital that you're willing to invest, you need to figure out how much money you're bringing in. You need to figure out how much money you put out in expenses. One thing that I've worked on as far as bringing in money to invest that's separate from my main source of income is building a side hustle, having something that you're passionate about that you do on the side that you can potentially monetize. And that could be anything, especially with the internet nowadays. There are a lot of things that people can do to earn a couple $100s up to even maybe a few $1,000s extra per month. I'm sure everybody can relate to this. You can sell extra stuff that you don't use on Craigslist. There's tons of things that I've found around the house that I just figured I'm not using it. Let's go ahead and put that money to work. So I ended up selling it and I put that money toward investment. So that's another option. Another thing is going to be to learn basic chart patterns and technical analysis. I know a lot of people are going to say, well, I don't really want to trade. I'm not the greatest when it comes to reading charts and drawing chart patterns. And to be totally honest with you, neither am I. I'm not the type of person that's going to be looking at a screen all day and trying to swing trade all these short-term price movements. So I can totally relate with that. But I feel like by understanding basic chart patterns and simple forms of technical analysis, you can get a real big leg up when it comes to somebody who is trying to understand what's happening in these markets. Watching crypto YouTube has been one of the best things that I've done to help me learn about that. Lots of people, again, that I like to look for are going to be people like Data Dash. Again, Bob Lucas does a great job with technical analysis. There is a whole bunch of different cryptocurrency YouTube channels that focus on TA. I recommend some books as well. I'm going to leave a link for you guys down in the description that'll include some of the tools and resources that I use to help me learn these types of skills. And then the last thing, for determining what type of investor you are, I would recommend creating a plan of action. It doesn't have to be anything complicated. I like to use the if-then formula. So with cryptocurrency, there's a lot of variables that go into what could cause the price of your coin to appreciate. So with that being said, there are a lot of unknowns, there are a lot of variables. So when you use the if-then formula, you will leave a lot of things up to interpretation, which is great because it needs to be something that can be changed should the situation call for it. So by using if-then, so if a certain set of events happens, then I will respond with this. It's a really simple concept, and I like to use that to help me formulate a plan. Now, what do you do when your bags pump? So I know many people in the crypto space right now are going to be extremely excited when they see their altcoin bags pump 10, 20x, 30x. It's going to be a euphoric feeling, similar to the feeling that many people experienced back in 2017 at the beginning of 2018. Now, the difference here is that we have a plan. So I know myself personally, I was invested in Cardano at the end of 2017, and I had no plan. I had zero understanding of really many of the things that we're talking about here in this video, which is my main reason for creating it, so that I can help people who were maybe in that situation or who have even been in the space for a while can better understand what it is that they need to look for when these things actually happen. Now, Cardano is a very exciting project. It's one that I'm focused on mainly, and I believe that has a very bright future, especially here in 2020. Now, what we're going to be anticipating here very soon is going to be the Shelly release, where staking is going to go live on the mainnet. Following, hopefully very shortly after that, is going to be Goguen, which is where smart contracts will be introduced to the platform. I think with those two features released on the mainnet, we're going to see some significant price action with Cardano. Now, when the price of Cardano does go up, let's say by 10x, 20x, I'm not really sure exactly what's going to happen with the price. I'm not intending to claim that I do, but nonetheless, you need to stick with your plan. That's the entire point of this video. We're talking about what strategies you need to put in place to be ready for something like this. Another thing is don't FOMO. The market will come back. Don't feel like you've missed all of your opportunities. Do not buy in on these massive lightsaber green candles. It's just not going to work out in your favor. Next is going to be don't get financial advice from Twitter. There's lots of noise out there, and the ability to be able to filter out all the noise and make your own financial decisions is going to be key when it comes to doing this successfully. Next is going to be looking at the price chart and determining for yourself whether or not you need to take any action. And lastly, keep in mind a quote that no one ever lost money from taking profits. So that's going to be it for this here. Now, I wanted to get into some bits of strategy. Now, there are a couple key things that many investors in crypto look at in terms of being able to maximize their returns. So I wanted to share with you all some of the thought processes that I had regarding these different strategies. So now, buy and hold, you can definitely go ahead and set aside a certain amount of capital, purchase Cardano right now, and you can set it aside for the long term. So let's take a look at some of these points. With Cardano staking, you'll be able to earn passive income. So many people are attracted to that because as opposed to keeping cash in a bank account, let's say, instead of paying the bank, if you are experiencing negative interest rates or zero interest rates, there's little to no return for having your money in the bank. Whereas with Cardano, you can delegate ADA to a high return on stake pool, and you can earn anywhere currently on the incentivized testnet. We're seeing up to 10 to 15% depending on the stake pool. Now, what you can do with these rewards is you can actually reinvest that into your initial investment. This is going to be allowing you to compound your capital. This type of investment strategy is typically one for those who have a long-term time horizon. So if you intend on holding Cardano for maybe 3, 5, or even 10 plus years, this is probably the most ideal strategy to help you get to those investment goals. Now, with this specific strategy, the price movements are not as important because you do have that long-term time horizon. The next strategy is going to be to trade into Bitcoin. As we know, with the smaller market size of the altcoins, the price moves are going to pump many multiple times more than Bitcoin. So let's say, for instance, if the price of Bitcoin goes from 10,000 up to 20,000, that's a 100% increase. That's an incredible return. However, with some of these altcoins, they're going to outpace Bitcoin by many times. So another strategy would be to take profits from these altcoins and move it over into Bitcoin. Now, a couple points to mention when you do this would be to delegate ADA to a high return on stake pool. So either way, with both of these strategies, you're still earning passive rewards by holding ADA. Now, another thing, instead of selling your initial capital that you have that's earning passive rewards, you could also sell your rewards from staking into Bitcoin. You could keep your initial investment into ADA, which is earning you passive income, and you could recoup your initial investment by selling your rewards into Bitcoin. So now this strategy has a medium-term time horizon, and price movements are going to be fairly important, especially how they relate to Bitcoin. Bitcoin dominance is going to be something that you want to pay attention to, and it should favor the altcoins when it comes time to sell into Bitcoin. So now, what is my strategy? Me personally, as somebody who is very invested in the Cardano project, I've got a Cardano stake pool as well. I am looking at this project from a very long-term time horizon. Now, currently, I am a stake pool operator with a pledge amount. I'm not going to be disclosing any type of details regarding that here in this video. I think it's still a little bit early. I want to make sure that I'm fully transparent with you all. Now, staking ADA to earn passive rewards is something that I've been doing since the incentivized testnet. I believe that that is going to be a great strategy for ADA hodlers going forward. Earning passive rewards on your initial investment is going to be a key point in all of these strategies. So now, with that being said, I intend to reinvest those rewards into my initial investment to increase the returns down the road. And I intend on taking profit into Bitcoin to cover my initial capital investment. What I intend on doing is moving profits over into Bitcoin so that I can recover my initial investment for costs involving the stake pool and other expenses related to operating this as a business. Now, I'm going to be looking at Cardano as a long-term investment, and I intend on being within this space for a long period of time. We've got the Cardano stake pool, and I want to make sure that I can remain as profitable as possible for our delegators. So what are going to be some of my targets for Cardano as we go forward? Let's take a look at my exit strategy. So here I've got a pretty cool graphic. Listed are going to be some price targets that I'm looking for in the short term, medium term, and long term. Now currently the ADA price is just about 5 cents. So I've got a few price targets listed. I think it's a good idea to just have a number in mind. You don't necessarily have to stick with this word for word or number by number. This is all up to interpretation. You guys have to do what's best for you. And again, this is not financial advice. So now in the short term, what I've done is I've set aside some ADA to be let go of when the price hits a certain level. Now, if it surpasses this level by a long shot, that's where I have my medium term and my long term holdings. As you guys can see, I've divided my main portfolio up into 3 different sections, and the weight of these individual portfolios increases as the time horizon increases as well. So for instance, the short-term amount that I have allocated is going to be less than that of the long-term. I think that's a great way to be able to just mitigate risk. Now, what we're looking at here, I've got 50 cents, $1, and $2, and I've got the price target set at 25%, 25%, and 50% respectively. And I've done that as well for the medium-term time horizon. So in this instance, I'm looking at $3, $4, and $5. I think that looking at key even levels are very psychological numbers, so it's just a good way to be able to gain a visual representation. It's, again, all very subjective, so you want to make sure that you have your own numbers set for you. And then the last one I have is long-term. So in this instance, I've got my long-term holdings set aside in the form of pledge. This is going to allow me to not touch those holdings by having it locked up in the pledge mechanism for Cardano. So this is a great way to just be able to set and forget, so to speak. So one thing I wanted to share with you all before I let you go is Become a Millionaire, not for the $1 million, but for what it will make of you to achieve it, by Jim Rohn. This is a quote that really stuck out to me. I feel like it hits the nail right on the head. It's really not about the money. I think that the money will come for everybody who is invested in cryptocurrencies and Cardano. You know, these people are going to be rewarded very, very handsomely for their patience and their commitment. But what I think is more important is what it is that it took to get you to that level and what you do once you get to it. So those are some of the key points that I want to leave you all with here today. What is your strategy? I really want to know what you guys think about all this. I would love to hear from you guys. Let's go ahead and start a conversation. If you guys did enjoy this video here today, please be sure to drop a like for me on your way out. If you are new to the channel and if you enjoy content like this, be sure to hit that subscribe button. I talk about Cardano, cryptocurrencies, all of that here on this YouTube channel, so you definitely want to make sure you stay tuned. All right, everyone, thank you so much for watching, and I will see you all in the next video. Take care.